G'day everyone, Davo from your personal information station, gday.fm. The plight of convicted Australian Bali 9 illegal drug smuggling ringleaders, Myron Sukumaran and Andrew Chan, raises more questions than answers, particularly in respect to highly questionable decisions made by authorities early on in the process. Like why the AFP, Australian Federal Police, after surveilling the suspects for some time in Australia prior to departure and also in Indonesia, tipped off their Indonesian counterparts as the suspects boarded a return flight to Australia in full knowledge of the consequences of being caught in possession of commercial quantities of heroin, which one would suspect is in direct contravention to duty of care obligations afforded citizens of countries that don't impose the death penalty, and suspiciously resembles a proposition bandied around at the time by the AFP, which was summarily rejected due to corruption concerns, where the AFP proposed monitoring illegal drug transactions and apprehending offenders at the Australian end, supposedly to help track down the Mr. Bigs, which would have been the intended outcome for the Bali 9, except, and presumably with support of the then Howard Conservative government, who were looking to develop a more cohesive intelligence sharing relationship with Indonesia, may have been tempted to place a few hapless young Australians in harm's way to achieve their objective, which is supported somewhat by reports the AFP sought assurance that the death penalty would not apply as a condition for providing this information. However, the AFP is refusing to comment, and unless someone is prepared to come clean, this is and will remain conjecture. Why pleased of the father of one of the group that his son might unwittingly be caught up in something untoward which was conveyed to the AFP prior to departure went unheeded. Or why the Thai national, who was known to authorities that supplied the drugs, was allowed to flee the country even while being apprehended momentarily at a border crossing. Some may be tempted to draw the conclusion that this person may have been afforded assisted passage. It seems this case is hopelessly caught up in a political quagmire on both sides, with a newly elected Indonesian president struggling to build a solid support base, seizing the opportunity through a tough-on-drugs approach, citing that this is a law and order issue while conveniently overlooking Indonesia's own provisions in law to consider rehabilitation. This is far too an important life and death issue to leave solely to the polarising, self-serving, expedient whim of politicians, and for that matter, courts and institutions, as bribery allegations have also been raised. And with the global illegal drug trade approaching 400 billion, that's 400 B for billion, not M for million, dollars each and every year, with crystal meth at epidemic proportions, the death penalty is clearly not a deterrent and only serves to dupe the population into believing something is being done. Until it is accepted that the real Mr. Biggs are fine, upstanding, church-going pillars of society that reside in leafy suburbs and send their kids to private schools, then it's going to continue to get worse. The war on drugs approach has failed miserably, and a completely new direction urgently required, which should be a piece of cake for us Aussie blockheads to figure out at gday.fm.